guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bindi, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit, and that's exactly what we are talking about today. I'm just gonna get right into it. So let's just talk about how I have not been completely honest with you guys because I was not being completely honest with myself. On this channel, I talk about practicing flexibility of the, oh, my mom's calling. I'll call you back, girl. I talk about practicing flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And I have not really been expressing my spirit for a long time, and that's for so many different reasons, and we're going to get into it in a little bit. The purpose of this video is so that I can help whomever wants to listen identify whether their actions and whether their intentions are aligned with their spirit, because if your intentions and your actions are not aligned with your spirit, then you're not aligned with your highest self. And when you're not aligned with your highest self, manifesting can be very difficult because a lot of things that you manifest are out of alignment with your truth. Therefore, there's a lot of conflicts. What's the contradictions? There are a lot of contradictions in the belief system. So when you find your spirit, you find alignment, and then manifesting becomes almost instantaneous. And I'm realizing that I've really been neglecting my spirit, and that is not something I feel bad about. That's not something I feel guilty about, because here's the thing. The mind and the body has been my focus for the past 4 or 5 years because my brain was really messed up. I had an anxiety disorder that, you know, if I had not picked up The Secret, that anxiety disorder may have just gone untreated, and I do not know where I would be in life right now, whether I would even be here. I'm just gonna be honest. And so for the past 5 years, I have been focusing on yoga and focusing on understanding different physical practices that can teach me how to literally still my body so that my brain could follow. I learned how to slow my thoughts down, and through that process I learned how to hear my thoughts, and then I learned how to identify the thoughts that did not serve me, and then I learned how to identity shift and get where I am today. So many videos on my channel about identity shifting. This was a part of my journey. I couldn't skip it. I couldn't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm miserable, I just want to be happy tomorrow, and then just jump into the future. That's unfortunately not how it works. But in this obsession of healing my brain, I have gotten further and further away from my essence as Dominique, who I am. And the other day, I wish so badly I could remember the post. I don't believe I saved it, but I was on Instagram and I saw these 2 women talking on a podcast, and one of the women was saying, you know, the spiritual community can become so obsessed with shadow work that we do not give ourselves permission to explore the spirit. And when I heard that, it immediately registered to me as my own truth. I have a habit of saying, you know, how can I be better? How can I be better? How can I be better? Instead of, I'm already perfect the way I am. And in that moment, I asked myself, you know, do I feel ready to give myself permission to stop fixing myself and to just live? Do I feel ready? And I did, and I realized I felt ready for a really long time. So when I had this conversation with myself, it was so wild because I talked to my best friend that night, and we just had this really aligned conversation about how we both wanted to focus on living in our spirits more than out of survival. And honestly, sometimes my intimate relationship with wellness and with healing myself is from survival mode, because I know that if I do not continue my yoga practice, if I do not continue my routines, I know that my programming is grounded in intense fear and intense anxiety. And when I do take a break from these things, my programs do reactivate. And that's not something I'm afraid of. It's just I understand that my nervous system was created in a unpredictable environment. I'll put it that way. But that being said, I have no intention of stopping my practices. So if I know that I have a system that works for me and allows me to feel connected and grounded, then is it time for me to give myself permission to say, I'm safe, I'm good, I figured it out, now I can live. And when I realized this, I also promised myself that I was going to rededicate myself to not thinking. We talked about not thinking a couple months ago, and very slowly, very surely, slowly but surely, my brain has gotten right back to overthinking. And again, this is not something I'm ashamed of. This is not something I'm saying is wrong. It's my programming. So I'm realizing that I want to shift back into only using my thinking, logical mind for problem solving and for intentional thinking. But when there is not a problem in front of me, or when I'm not planning my life, I want to lean more into being versus thinking and letting my mind wander, because letting your mind wander it never leads anywhere good. So all that being said, when I made this promise to myself to just continue being and to allow my spirit to just express itself in whatever way without any expectation, I found myself making music again. And I've been making music since I was 4 years old. And it is something that is a part of me. I couldn't separate it from myself if I tried. And before I knew it, I was in front of my keyboard, and then I was on my computer making beats, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm back here. I'm back at this place within myself that has always felt like home, but I haven't given myself permission to be here because I felt like I had to do my due diligence to fix myself. And I'm making this a long-winded story, but I just want to tell you that you can take a break from the shadow work. You can take a break from the what can I do to be better, and you can find the present moment and just do something that feels good for you in that moment. You're allowed to do that, because I don't want anyone on my channel feeling like they have to give up life so that they can heal their trauma. For me, it was that serious for me. I'm not gonna even lie to you. It was that serious for me. I think everything happens in divine perfect timing, and I think me having this revelation that I'm ready is because I'm truly ready. But because I feel like I have a responsibility to you guys to be transparent with you, I want to give the disclaimer that I know I come out with a lot of law of attraction videos and spirituality videos, but I don't come out with all this content for you to be obsessed with it. I don't come out with all this content for this stuff to become your life. I come out with this content so that you can understand my life philosophy and how I live, and then see if you want that to align with your own life philosophy. But that's it. We can't stop living. We can't stop seeking joy. We can't stop finding ourselves, because finding ourselves is also a lifelong journey. And in order to find ourselves, we have to have experiences. So we can't stop the experiencing because we want to be so obsessed with, again, fixing ourselves. Now I want to talk about what I mean by I've had a hollow life experience. I have always loved music. I think that it's so interesting, my love of music, but my lack of worthiness when it comes to feeling like I'm worth being able to perform or share my music is directly tied to my abandonment issues. For a long time, I felt like if I share my music, which is very vulnerable for me, if I share it, people will be upset with me for not sticking to my original content. People just won't like it. My friends and family may judge me. Maybe the people I love the most might say, oh, wow, this is what she wants to do, and, separate themselves and, for lack of a better word, abandon me. That's always been the root of my fear when it comes to music. And because of this, I have shifted into making my life's purpose service. And that's not something I regret, because when it comes to life in general, I think that service is something that keeps us humble. My entire YouTube is an act of service. And to be honest, this YouTube channel has kept my spirit hanging on, because yes, it's an act of service because I give you guys lecture videos, but through these lecture videos, I'm able to, you know, design what I want. I'm a very creative person, so I'm able to design what I want my background to look like. I'm able to edit the videos. I'm able to create title screens and just create. My YouTube has been my only creative outlet for the past 5 years, because it's the only creative outlet I've allowed myself to have. So I've shifted my whole life to being in service of you guys, and being in service of my husband and my children and my mom and my friends. And this is not coming from a place of victim mentality, because best believe those people all serve me too. So this is not coming from a place of victim mentality. I'm just being honest that I was not balancing this service with filling my heart up and allowing my heart to feel authentic and true. I wasn't showing up fully 100% as my authentic true self, because again, I did not feel worthy of that. But as I gave myself permission to allow my spirit to just express itself, and as I started vomiting music, so much music, I've written so much music in the past 2 weeks, as this has happened, I realized that I'm not that little girl who's scared of losing her dad anymore. I'm not her. A part of me will always be her. And I will always have to go within myself and speak to my inner child and let her know that she is so deeply and fiercely loved, and she never has to worry about being alone. And if she is ever alone, she will still be okay, because we have Source, right? We have God, and yeah. But that being said, I'm not the little girl who every day was, you know, a fear of death, because our deepest fears feel like death to us. So if you have an abandonment wound, somebody leaving you feels like you may die. And that was such a heavy fear that I dealt with every day, so much that it was controlling my actions and my thoughts and my personality, or how I chose to express my personality. And I'm not her anymore. So as I make this music, which, you know, I'm very rusty at, I'm not gonna even lie to you guys, like, making music is not like riding a bike. I'm still finding my voice. I'm still figuring out what I want to do, what I want to do musically. But I don't care. I don't care about the people who don't like it. You know, 5 years ago, if you would have told me that I was able to acquire 100,000 friends online who like to listen to my lecture videos, and that I would just force them to listen to my music, I'd be like, no, that's a horrible idea. Why would I do that? But now I'm just like, you guys are here. I love you and you love me, and music is such a big part of me that, you know, if you don't want to listen to it, I get it. But if you do, thank you. And if you enjoy it, thank you even more. Like, I just want to share this part of myself with you guys, and it feels so good to not have the shame attached to this, because years ago shame would have been sewn all into this, and it's just not there, and I'm grateful for that. So the last thing I want to say is, if anyone is struggling with a really intense disconnection from their soul, and you know, if you're struggling with that, for me personally, like I said, a lot of my attention was revolving around the lives of others. So if you find that your attention is revolving around anything that has to do, or if you find that your attention is revolving around things that are separate from you and your journey, then you might be disconnected from your soul, right? Because we come here not remembering our past lives, if you believe in that, or just not remembering anything. We come here as babies, just completely blank. And our life journey is about reacclimating ourselves to this existence, and, you know, finding our soul, finding our spirits. And every day is important. Every day is an opportunity to get closer to God, closer to that understanding of what our spirit is. So when we take a day to not even check in, it's like that's a day taken away, that's a day wasted. So if you find that the majority of your days are going by and you have no want to check in with yourself, then I would ask myself, how's my soul doing? How's my soul doing? How's my soul doing, over and over again? And if you already know, what it is that you want to do, but you're scared and you are filled with shame and doubt, and that makes you not want to commit to what you know you should be doing, then I strongly suggest you remember that God is in you. What made this universe, what made this earth, what made the heavens and the oceans and the trees and the grass and your beating heart and your brain with all its hundreds of thousands of neurotransmitters, what made all of that is in you. Me making a song is the same thing as God creating a baby. It's the same thing. It's all one. It is all one. Whatever you create is a creation of God. And the only way to fully commit all of your creative power into that creation is to understand that you are allowed to fully express. No holding back, right? And I I would have loved if I could have had this talk with myself years ago, but it wasn't time, obviously. And I don't have a time machine. But yeah. Allow yourself. You are so worthy. You are so worthy of expressing your spirit. You are so worthy of expressing your soul. And I hope that I have inspired you to take your spirit seriously, because you're worthy of it. All right, that's it. That's all I got. I've been talking for 18 minutes. I don't know how, but maybe I just won't edit this. Maybe I'll just upload it and not edit it, because I'd rather work on music. I love you guys so much. The sun just, said, we don't care about the vibes. I want to be in here, okay? The sun just said, let me in the video, and the sun is welcome anytime. I love you guys. Thank you so much. New song on Thursday. I think I'm gonna do songs on Thursdays. We'll see. I'm just going with the flow. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for letting me love you. Follow your dreams, follow your heart. You only get one life that you remember, so live it. Live your life. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.